Kono bangumi wa goran no sponsor no teikyo de okuri shimasu. Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Mushishi, episodes 8 and potentially 9. We'll see. Last week we spent a full month on an isolated island trapped by the tides and discovered some strange religious practices, all of which turned out to be centered around a strange breed of mushi living in the island's flowers in a particular little cove and being exploited by the ruling class of the island because that's what people in power do. Nice. We tried to save some people from it, and it turned out that some of them didn't want to be saved. They wanted to continue on the way that they were continuing on, which says some things about people and life and spiritualism and all sorts of things. But it was a really interesting episode. Then we spent a while following around a random guy who wanted to chase rainbows and finding, eventually, a rainbow. And discovering that instead of chasing rainbows, maybe what this guy really wanted was what he was running away from the whole time, to be with his family and to succeed where he had previously failed as a bridge builder. And it turned out that he was able to do really well at that. They were some pretty hefty episodes, and I don't know what to expect from this week because there's just gonna be more of the mushi-shi, and it varies from super heartwarming to absolutely distress-inducing, and I don't know what Ginkgo is going to do or what single one-episode stories we're going to experience, but so far every episode has been in its own way absolutely gorgeous and wonderful and really lovely. So I'm excited to watch more Mushishi. That's my whole spiel here at the beginning. I think we're done. Let's watch the episodes. Yes, and I hope that I can get the fucking hair on my face. Okay. I've got episode 8 of Mushishi up and ready to go. It is sitting at 0 seconds. There will be 2 versions of this reaction. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description down there, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you right now. Wunderbar. Every single step of the way. Pay single night and whoa. Is that a beach? That's awesome looking. It looks like we're on the freaking moon. What is that? Is that Arashino? Okay, guess you don't want that thing. Wow. Wow. Yeah, people die out at sea. Where sea meets man. I think we knew that. So what are you hoping to wash up from sea for ya, bud? Bye, Ginkgo. Bye, Ginkgo. Later. Just walking here. Oh. Oh. People find him kind of creepy. I guess if he just sits there on the beach every day, all day, and just stares out to sea, that might be it. Or maybe they'd just feel sorry for. Oh, hello. Hi, Ginkgo, you're back. Oh, goodbye, Ginkgo. Later. Nope, you're gonna stop. Oh. Let's just sit here and talk to you. Yeah. For strangely? Strangely is a big word. I think he probably does, honestly, but it tells me a lot about your personality that you phrase it that way. Looks over. It all started back when I was a boy. Grandma said, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hmm. Oh. Seems like a great relationship. Seems like a fantastic relationship. Ah. 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 Hmm. Hmm. Seems like she was reluctant to. Okay, they do care. Cool. Damn, yo. Is she? She is. Woof. That's awkward. You're never gonna get the chance. Ah! What the hell? Obviously not sea snakes. They're sneeze snakes! Sorry, if you haven't seen Critical Role, that doesn't make any sense. Um... Except fog and mist. Oh shit. Hey, hey, hey. Ah! Does she know how to swim? Oh. Follow the sound of my voice! Follow the sound of my voice! Oh god. What a horror story. Never. Oh wow, what a horror story. What the fuck? Uh huh. And you washed up on shore. But she didn't. Maybe she just got transported to some other realm and she's fine. You would find something. But Got it. That's rough. But I guess fair. Damn, Ginkgo. Damn. Damn. Ah. Ah. Got some kind of idea there, Ginkgo? You're ripping her off, yeah. He did work in that shop. What? Starting to make a bigger change around him. Huh. Haggling for ya. Yeah. Gosh. Well, he is a strange person, so you weren't wrong. But he was kind of nice too. Ah, good. Help everyone. I wonder if is that going to be the only interaction Ginkgo has with this guy? And fully gets him to clean his shit up and positively affect all the people around him? Oh no, the snakes will happen again. Ah! Is it a shark? It was just a shadow. I'm scared. Oh, hi, Ginkgo. Doop, dee doop, dee doop, dee doop. Huh. Are you just scared of strangers, or is there something weirder going on here? Yep. That sounds like a good idea. That sounds like a really good idea. Yeah, just stay home. What if his wife's boat returns empty? Hi. What'd you find, Ginkgo? Same with the shark shadow. Uh-huh. What kind? Oh. So there's a convergence. 3 years. Ah. What happened? Uh-oh. She didn't want to. Got something to live for. Okay. Oh, we're coming with ya. Uh-huh. My trip. To find nothing? Would that be worse than finding something? I don't know. More than almost. It's fully uncanny. Oh. Snakes. Mushi. Wow. How can something so fuzzy be so clear? Oop. Got one. Got one. You telling me she's been lost at sea for 3 years? Or is it empty? Or is it a corpse? Oh! Wow, the way those hit and ripple. Even Ginkgo. So you've just been in like a coma this whole time? Oh, what? Ginkgo, did you? Well, yeah, what? Days. Days. It's been 3 years, darling. What the what? Is she real? Oh. Let's go back to land. Can she? Can she? No, 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 no. It can't go. Don't. Can you? Transform into what? From that? What? But that's my wife! Please don't make her goop. Oh no, please don't make her goopify. Please no. Oh god, fuck, shit, god damn it. You give me this much hope, Mushishi. This much hope for a happy ending for these stupid young lovers. They'll return. Ginkgo's bringing them back. Oh. Are they riding it in? Whoa. One giant Mushi. What a scene. Okay. Wow. Whoa. Cool shot. Mm-hmm. Not comforting at all. Yeah, what's up with that pin? And now her. Acceptance. And a bit of color for almost the first time in the episode. Time for us to go. Yeah, a little bit of color. What's next? I don't know what that means. Okay. This was an episode. So, the first thing that's utterly striking about this episode is the utter lack of color. I've been trying to pay attention to the color design episode to episode. White and gray into the littlest flash from the pin that he's holding, the hairpin. Black and white, darkness of the sea, gray of the land. Dark gray bamboo, white cloth, dark faded colors everywhere. The whole palette for the entire episode is depressingly muted everywhere. Gray skies, gray seas, white mushi, white haze. I guess we get this morning. And even then, what should be like a brilliant blue, beautiful day is washed out and gray. And it is in this that we meet her. Brightly colored, totally out of place here. A speck of brilliant red in a drab town. We see the tensions between these two people. The father who fired him, the petty tensions of a young married couple just finding their footing. Frankly, I didn't think you would either. All of their comments to each other have a little bit of a barb to them. But she comes with him, and off they set. I'll apologize when we make land, and that opportunity never comes. So, in comes the fog, and our horror episode really starts because it's absolutely terrifying. There are very few things as scary to me as lost at sea in a small boat in a haze of fog and not knowing where to go. That's absolutely, like, core terror for me. Not like it's a particular phobia or anything, but that's some deep-seated yikes. Wow. Okay. The scenes of the mushi are just gorgeous. All of these shots of character animation and character acting demonstrating feeling for us are fantastic. But what really gets me is we walk past this guy twice, considering whether to ask him or to talk to him. And finally we do. We sit and we wait with him and we talk. He tells us this. But you've stayed here for 2.5 years. Whether you find any evidence or not, she's no longer alive, right? It's the harshest thing. And even if she was rescued, she's living somewhere else now and hasn't reached out to you. It's time to cut ties. It's time to let go. He tells this guy and takes his leave and walks away. Now, he has a second thought about it, but he doesn't come back. Not for another few months. Not for another while, at least. And in the meantime, this character who's been sitting morose on the beach for 2.5 years, his life on hold, completely paused in every way, because he's waiting for the barest possibility of some kind of proof, even. Not even thinking that she'll come back, but some kind of proof, something to settle his mind and let him move on. He finally does. He finally chooses to move on. And the craziest thing is this little moment of harshness, of like harsh, tough love truth that comes from Ginkgo, fully turns the guy's life around. It starts with reaching out and helping somebody near him, and by helping her organize a better trade deal, he's invited into their household and lives with them as family and helps all the other villagers and is helping to uplift the people around him as he pulls himself out of his own depression. That is really cool because I think it's true. And I mean in an ethereal, universal sense true. I think that people, when we isolate and focus on one thing and push everything else away, we just spiral downward. And one of the greatest ways to get over that is to stop pitying yourself and to start helping people around you. And magic happens when you do. And it happens for him. And that's amazing. So he helps with this deal. I love the way he just pulls the abacus out of the guy's thing. He's just like, flick, flick, flick. How about this? The guy's like, I can't possibly. Okay, how about this? Haggling back and forth is wonderful. And she's just sitting there like, oh, what the heck? It's fantastic. And he is accepted with the whole village. Come, check out at the inn. Come live with us. Make this your home. But he sees ominous things, strange things. And eventually, things are getting really weird. The tide is staying. Other stuff is strange. I don't understand the tide thing. God, every time. Oh, Mushishi this is like the one show that I've ever seen where you can just look at shots of the sky and they're just amazing. It's so cool. But it happens again. The haze returns, and the 3-year mark comes. And Ginkgo knows that there's the possibility that this will happen again. And so he takes the initiative and goes with him, or makes him come with him. Out they go, and they find exactly what he's looking for. A miracle. Her, alive after 3 years. But it's not her. Not anymore. And this is a false joy. This moment, it's okay, I can still see it clearly. It's over that way as he points into just endless mist. Is pure horror. Just pure terror. That your own sense of direction, your own sight would fail you. And then, the mushi all explode into goop, and that's horrifying. Okay, moving along, I just gotta mention this scene where we see this giant centipede mushi snake monster just floating through the air, just being there. What the hell is that? I guess we've been told it's all of those mushi combined into one giant mushi. But holy macaroni. And it comes back. It all comes back. And there's no return. I mean, the bright red of the kimono returns, but it's not as bright, right? That light is gone from his life forever, but there are new sources of color. These people, the sunrise, the ocean, the sky, the flowers, the plants. The world is brightened anew. And Ginkgo takes his leave and just walks away. What an amazingly unsettling episode with some really interesting characterization on these one-off, one-episode characters, as usual, but Jesus, immediately start to understand their relationship, and it's fraught with tension, and it's weird, but we still have hope for them to, something, and he still has hope for his wife to be out there, and she is, but she isn't. Some miracles are too much to ask for. Gosh, what? Okay, give me a second to think. I feel like there's something more than just depression to him. There's like this weight of, I don't know, like resentment for the world, for being unfair. Or maybe it's just regret at the way that he spoke to her before losing her. Maybe. I think that actually makes a lot of sense. He's able to say what he wanted to say to her, and they're able to make things right, even if it's not completely her anymore. He's able to overcome that regret and move on with himself, with the world around him, with his life. What a powerfully, simultaneously personal and kind of a universal and societal story that's about finding a way to help in society, as well as finding a way to overcome personal grievances and personal regrets. What a weird blend. What a beautiful and strange episode. I wonder, I'm going to look up who did, certain things on this episode. Tadashi Hiramitsu on storyboard, and Toshinori Narita on episode direction. with Masaki Hina. Well, a bunch of people on animation direction because they're just a bunch. Tadashi Hiramatsu has done a whole lot of key animation on Evangelion things, Furikuri, a bunch of Gainax things, as well as some Trigger stuff, some Kill la Kill, some other stuff like that. Not as many direction or storyboarding credits, but still very interesting. And then Toshinori Narita, Dog Days, Cardcaptor Sakura, a couple of different Madhouse shows, White Album, Perfect Blue, Production Advancement, sort of all over the place in credits. Bunch of episode direction, bunch of storyboard on a ton of different shows. Cool. This particular episode just screams an understanding of like color and mood setting and of course the creation of atmosphere. I'm also just going to note that the ending and the lead into the ending song is stellar. They usually are. They almost all are. This one stands out to me as even better than the norm. And that's awesome. Wow. What an episode of Mushishi. Okay, I'm going to wrap it for that episode. Take a breaky thingy, do a sinky thingy, and come back in just a second for episode 9 of Mushishi. See you in a moment. Peace. All right, welcome back. Let's watch episode 9 of Mushishi and see what happens this time. The heavy seed? Or something like that? Okay, beep beep timer. Ooh, rice. Yum, 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 yum. Hmm. Hmm. Is that a piece of rice stuck to her roof of her mouth? Or is. I am recording. Okay. Okay. The heavy seed. Rice. Grow, rice, grow. Hi, Ginkgo. Hmm. I wonder why. Abnormal rice, you say? Oh. They thrive off of the poorness of others? Oh. The blood of our ancestors. Choose from the weakest. Thanks, kid. You suck. I understand. Or a curse. Yeah. Hmm. Oh. Okay. Right, the whole village thrives. Hmm. They were all weak, right? Yeah, but in what way? Let's go meet this head priest, shall we? We've had experience with head priests and headsmen before. Oh. Oh, like a mushi. Hmm. He's got the sight. Hmm. Golds and greens. That's a lot of notebooks. Hi, I'm a mushi-shi. Are you now? Yeah, she's gonna frickin' die so that we can have this bountiful harvest you keep talking about. That's a lie, right? That's fully a lie. Hmm. Then why do they take a sacrifice? Huh. What's the agricultural research? Totally. But what's up with the... Yeah, what's up with the tooth and the dying people? Okay, you're just gonna fully brush this aside and pretend that there's nothing related here. Okay, buddy, why are you lying to me? Yeah, you're fully lying to me. Why? Hmm. Like the river? Oh, yeah. Which is the stream. Okay, so it's like a little river for it. Like growing lots of crops. Of course, great power. People are gonna experiment. Uh-huh. Life for all at the expense of life of one. That's the more important question, isn't it? He would do it. Classic moral dilemma. Yeah. Yes. Hmm. But you keep doing it. Right. You can't stop. Oh. This is tense. Totally different. Impossible to. Yeah. We don't leave. Can't leave. Right. This is all hypothetical. Totally just conjecture. There is, and you're using it. You have been. And you're a murderer. But there's more to it than that. Oh, hi, kiddo. Change the way they do it? No. I don't think that's what he's suggesting. Oh, that is what he's suggesting. Okay. Ah. Ah. All you have to do is move an entire village? That seems rough. Oh. So now you're just trying to protect what you already have. Are you okay, bud? You are not okay. The fuck? Does he have a tooth? Was he trying to make the consequences fall upon himself? He's trying to make himself the weakest so that the consequences only. Mm-mm. And to not tell your successor. Wow. Really, truly a heavy burden. Hmm. And you lost her. And you lost her because of it. Ah, weakness. Dink. That's what we started with. No, the rice caused your death, right? Death to life to death again. Yeah. If you sacrificed yourself. Whoa. And it just carries that life with it. Yeah, he cares deeply about this place. Hmm. Come on, what's the one more thing? Beautiful fields of grain. Uh-huh. The auspicious tooth. It worked. Crazy. Hmm. No, it was. Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Hi. That wasn't the tooth. That was a different tooth. Mm. Mm. Hmm. Becoming an immortal? It is, and he's offering it anyway. What a way of saying that. Wow. Yeah, the answer is faux show to you. Faux show, yo. Stop the cycle. Stops the cycle and he is reborn. And they get one bountiful harvest. Oh. Hey, buddy, you're alive. And potentially immortal with a glowing vein of light running through you forever now? An immortal priest. Which it did. Spreading agriculture. Yeah. Oh, that's so weird. Not how I thought that was gonna play out at all. Usually we have real simple, like, small solutions to those kinds of problems, but, well, that was a big solve. The White Witch lit. Whoa, that's a cool title. because inkstones are super black. Well, this is a philosophically rich episode, and color rich. Lots of the green, lots of gold. But powerfully philosophically rich. I gotta go through this and think. Give me a moment. Okay. The first and most obvious moral or philosophical conflict in this episode is the idea of doing a lesser evil in order to achieve some greater good. That is, to sacrifice one person in the village in order to save the entire village from the likelihood of starvation. This land that they live on is not sustainable. They cannot farm it effectively, not without something extra. So, the dilemma is a simple one. You kill someone without their consent or their knowledge in order to save everyone. The lines could blur further if people did know that somebody in their village would die in order to facilitate the good harvest. And I actually thought that's what Ginkgo was going to make happen here. I thought that his solution, when he said, I'm going to need the consent of the whole village to make it happen, was instead of burning the crops and allowing that to fertilize the fields, instead just to bring everybody in on the secret and tell everybody, listen, if you don't want to be up for the running for somebody to die in order for the whole village to be saved, you can leave. If you stay here, know that you are in the random lottery, essentially, for somebody to die for everyone else to be saved, and turn that into like an altered tradition or something like that. But that's not what we do. Regardless, this core conflict, this idea of doing a lesser evil in order to produce a greater good, is a really interesting one, and I would call it even close to like a timeless dilemma. It's the classic there are two train tracks and one of them has one person on it and one of them has two people on, and you can turn the lever. It's currently going toward the two people. Do you turn the lever and switch it to the one person and save a life by doing so? Yes. Now, what if there's hypothetically, the way that the hypothetical goes is, what if there's an extremely large person and you can actively throw them onto the train tracks, killing them, but saving whoever is further down on the train tracks? Maybe? I don't know. It's harder. It becomes much more difficult to answer that kind of question as we get more interesting with it. We also find, as they continue a bit of a tete-a-tete, as they're going back and forth with this argument that they have in the hut. And I'll step back and say that this whole episode, minus some visual scenes, is just characters talking and two outlooks clashing. But there aren't just two. There are three, and we got to get into that in just a second. We do find some nice little hints at how Ginkgo sees the world. He is most worried about this seed threatening the balance, and we don't get to know what exactly that means, but we get an idea of what Ginkgo feels that the balance means. The way things should be, the natural course of things. And he is sort of an arbiter of that in and of himself, which is interesting. And the episode doesn't really give us room to directly question him or question his motivations. It just presents them as such, and we take them at face value. But he is interested in protecting and restoring the balance. The third party present, and this requires a bit of a shift in our perspective, is the younger generation, which is kind of represented by it's Sane, I think so, by the kid who is going to be the next head priest. So, the previous head priest has a couple of things about him that are like standard conservatism, not in terms of the way we use conservative in a modern American political context, but conservative in terms of maintaining traditions, maintaining things from the past, continuing to do things the way that they have been done before. This land is soaked with his ancestors' blood and toil and sweat, and to leave it would be to spit on them and spit on their effort, and to completely forsake all of that work that's been done to make this place as livable as it is, even though it's not great. Now, this on its own is a bit of a faulty mindset, I think. It seems pretty clear to us that many of the people in this village would be better served by going and living elsewhere, where they would have more normal harvests and be able to actually farm the land without inventing new agricultural techniques and stuff like that. but the old ways prevent that, and the simple inertia of humanity prevents that. And then at the same time, this head priest is also investigating new things and is, in a weird way, simultaneously very conservative, trying to keep things the way that they are, and also hoping for a progressive outlook, where he's looking for new ways to irrigate, new agricultural techniques, new farming techniques, something new to bolster this land and allow them to shed the trappings of the past. And literally trappings, because the past presents them with a trap. Kill one of our own in order to allow one harvest, upon which we become now reliant on those rare bountiful harvests and the use of these seeds. The issue is that the head priest, caught in between these two sides, takes almost the worst choice, or he almost takes the worst choice. And that choice is to use up the past one last time, to use the seed one more time, to make one more sacrifice, and thus implicitly state that doing so is valid, right? But also to rob the village of that potential, of the ability to hold on to that past tradition in the future, even though it's awful, even though it's not good. It's a morally, like, it's a distasteful choice for certain. He plans to take it away from them completely, right, and leave them with almost nothing. He's unable to pass down his research because he's killing himself. He's a youngish man, so he's got another 20 probably years, depending on like life expectancy in this time and place. It doesn't, I don't know. Maybe 10, maybe 20 years, all of which is time that he could spend transferring a bunch of this research and knowledge to the kid who's going to be his successor and to the villagers who are farming this place, so that they at least have a chance to keep building on what they can and to build a new way for this village to survive in the future. Instead, he, trying to avoid the repercussions, the moral dilemma of killing someone else in the village, chooses to take all of the suffering upon himself. But in doing so, he robs them not only of their past, but of their future. So what Ginkgo does is he also goes against tradition, steps away from what is allowed, and breaks taboo with what mushi-shi are allowed to do and are able to do in order to create effectively what seems like an abomination, an endlessly living person. But in doing so, he manages to allow them to transition smoothly from the past to the future. And this head priest becomes a source of knowledge and a gatherer of knowledge and a spreader of knowledge, who then brings that information back to the village and enables their future. He becomes what I believe every older generation should be to their next generation, which is somebody who passes on all of the knowledge of the ways that we've done things before, and if possible, is able to see the flaws in that knowledge and enable people to find ways to fix those flaws and to build on the shoulders of what has come before. By breaking a mushi-shi taboo, Ginkgo is able to circumvent the need to rely upon the seed and allows a true, like, blossoming of agricultural knowledge to take over this village. There will never be another parting harvest in this village, and they cannot possibly rely upon that rather sinister magic in order to get their lives, keep their lives going. But they have a chance because this head priest, instead of becoming a dying sacrifice, becomes like a living sacrifice to them, one who is able to travel around and gather information and spread it to the next generation. That is super cool. So we go from this rather simple moral dilemma: do you kill one person in the village, performing what is effectively premeditated murder in order to save the entire village? We go from that simple vroom vroom. We go from that simple dilemma to the much more complicated dilemma of trying to handle trying to handle this divide between generations, this need to respect our ancestral home and to stay here, and our unwillingness to leave, with the desperate need for some kind of change. It's unsustainable to live in this place, and it's certainly unsustainable to keep living here, utilizing the deaths of our own people to like feed the land. Whoa, what a cool episode. What a cool episode. I think this is the most philosophically rich, at least the most directly philosophically rich. We can read all of this kind of stuff into previous episodes as well, but this one, again, is an episode that is entirely taken up by characters talking to each other and discussing these things and figuring them out. And the slow reveal as Ginkgo passes through the lies and through the subtle deceptions and this is all hypotheticals, in order to find the truth of what's really going on, and to discover that this guy, this head priest, is oh so well intentioned, but what he's doing is the worst possible option. He's removing himself and his own knowledge from the picture, giving the village one last harvest, but still removing from them the ability to get those harvests in the future, taking it all away. And kind of like in the previous episode, how Ginkgo's little bits of harsh words allowed that character to stand up off of his beach and go and like pull himself out of his angst and depression, and also elevate and uplift those people around him. Ginkgo is able to talk this guy through and come up with a crazy plan that allows them to ditch these seeds, these terrible things that are so great and so terrible at the same time, and also allows him to pass down his knowledge further and prevents him from performing a really, I don't want to call it a worthless sacrifice, but long term it would be, right? Long term, the sacrifice that this head priest was going to make would be worse than worthless almost, because he would have taken away both ways for the village to possibly survive. And instead, Ginkgo is able to maneuver through and make both happen. Now, the harvests aren't bountiful forever, but they're getting better day by day, year by year, right? The land is becoming more fertile. And indeed, a man was resurrected, and with him, the hopes of an entire village. That's fucking awesome! Also, all of the imagery around rice and the glorifying of rice and the power of something so simple that is the food for this whole people is amazing, and kind of terrifying when you think of the possibility of a village that relies entirely upon their rice harvest and what could happen if things go wrong. Absolutely scary. Absolutely awesome philosophy stuff mixed in here, and a wonderful depiction of a couple things about the generation gap and like the difference between groups and the way that progress occurs that I really like and that really resonate with me, because I really do think that it is our duty as each generation to try to compile as much knowledge as we can and give it as well and as effectively and convey it as perfectly as we can to future generations. And that's one of the things that I find art really interesting for, and it's one of the things that I find anime, which tells stories, really interesting for. And so, in a beautiful way, this episode, by carrying on those ideas, is doing exactly what the characters inside the episode are doing, right? That's fucking cool. I like this episode a lot. It is not by any stretch of the imagination the most visually impressive or even interesting episodes, and it's not even the most in any even close to the most like enthralling episode. It's honestly kind of almost boring because it's a whole episode of characters talking, but the things they're talking about and the way they talk about them and the way that they argue back and forth is oh so perfect. Ginkgo walks into this place and is immediately met with subtle suspicion from this head priest, and then he finds out that he's a mushi-shi, and the suspicion intensifies just a little bit, and they go back and forth, arguing hypotheticals and moral questions that are obviously hyper relevant, but they can't speak of it directly. And it finally plays out as it plays out in the episode, in a fantastic move by Ginkgo, who breaks a deep taboo, the biggest mushi-shi taboo or something. And saves a village, and saves a life, and prevents future deaths. And maybe, just maybe, restores some balance. Excellent episode. I'm going to wrap right there. I've been Teeaboo. This has been Mushishi episodes 8 and 9. I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have. If you've got your own thoughts on these are some thought-provoking episodes for sure. I would love to hear more thoughts. Go ahead and drop those in the comments. I will read them. And either way, I'll see you next week for some more Mushishi. Peace.